I've always loved the story of the investment banker that he's in a small town in Mexico and he sees a fisherman side of the bank there, and he walks over and introduces himself, and he says, so, what do you do for a living? And the guy says, well, I'm a fisherman. He said, well, did you know that you could get some more people to help you, and then you could get some new boats, and you could do all kind of things? And the guy says, well, I kind of enjoy my life, now. I kind of take it easy. I catch a few fish. I sell a few fish. I go home with my beloved wife in the afternoon and take a siesta, and then at night I go drink a little wine and go play in the band. Life's pretty good. He said, yeah, but if you got, more of these ships and boats, he said, then after that, you could have a cannery. And he said, and then you could produce your own, and you would make a lot of money, and then over the years, you would be able to, sell your company. You could go public, and then you would have millions. And the guy said, well, what would I be able to do then? He said, well, you'd be able to sit on the bank and fish, and you'd be able to go home in the afternoon and, enjoy a siesta with your wife, and at night you could go and you could play in the band. I love that story, and that's been kind of a driving story, I think, throughout the course of many years in my life of, joining in the climbing the ladder, never really questioning where the ladder was going to wind up, but it had to be a ladder and it had to be going somewhere. It's okay to want to be somewhere. It's okay to add to your idea of love and for you to feel a vision that's being pulled from you, okay? That is beautiful and it's appropriate, and we are always emerging into something. The secret and the key, though, is being able to love where you are. The secret is to be able to immerse yourself with exactly where you're at right now. In my early days of ministry, when I was still needing, parental guidance, I would attract members of the community that they would criticize just about everything that we did. And they'd send me a little love note at the end of the service about all the things we did wrong. And I used to just take it to heart, like, oh my gosh, and didn't you enjoy this and that and this? And I would take it to heart until I realized how convenient for them that they came here with this critical mindset, and it protected them from feeling. It protected them from revealing because they're too busy looking outside of somebody else's lane. Do you understand that? And so it's like that space within your life, because it's the same with you. If you're showing up with your family events this week and you're critical, or you thought you were somewhere else, or due to the lack of travel, you're not where you thought you were going to be, you're missing out from feeling what could reveal, from feeling what could heal, from feeling a different awareness of what is possible in your life. When you say something's missing, here's your answer. Are you ready for it? When you say something's missing, here's your answer. Are you ready for it? Yeah. You are. You are. And often people, they say they want a bigger job, they want a greater opportunity, they want newer experiences to come their way, and they cheat the moment that they're in. They want a new car, this new fancy car, while at the same time they kick their car, they don't get it washed, they don't replace the parts that fall off because they're waiting over there. You understand? Consciousness is consciousness, and you may think you're cheating it, but it's cheating you. You understand that? If you're working for a company and you're stealing paper clips and you're stealing photocopy paper and you're stealing and robbing that company from working the hours that you're paid for, don't anticipate that you're going to get a call from a Fortune 500 company offering you something because you're cheating yourself of being where you're at. Does that resonate with you? So you put yourself fully into where you are as if this is all there is. And in that moment, it is all that is. You see, metaphysically speaking, it's very important, like the Hebrew tradition that talks about the prophet Jeremiah. Jeremiah loved spirituality and loved God. And Jeremiah at one time had a dream. And God said to Jeremiah, I have placed it upon my people's hearts. I have placed a law upon their heart to remind them that I am their God and they are my people. First of all, it's in the heart where love has the power, but I think it's even more significant metaphysically because it's love and law. And really, that's what I talk about every week that I'm up here, just aiming to say it a little bit different to keep you interested. But at the end of the day, it's the mastering of love and law and how it is working in your life. And if you are lacking in totally loving yourself, you are lacking in totally understanding the law. Because the signs are coming, the doors are opening, but they can just go right over your head. Do you understand that? When something in your life isn't working, it's because a greater love manifestation, it's on its way to you. But if you don't have that part of you settled with the concept of love, then it's going to go right over your head. So it's important to have both. I love the story about the neighbor that she looks out one day working in the yard, and this older dog comes up on the property, and when she goes in the house, it follows her. And in a minute, she looks over, and there's the dog just over in the hall, sound asleep. In about an hour, he asks her to, open the door and goes about his way. And the next day, comes back and does kind of the same thing. And so she puts a little note on his collar. I want you to know, wherever this dog belongs, that your dog is coming here every day and sleeping here in the house, and wanted you to be aware of it. So the next day, the dog comes back with a note on the collar that says, this dog lives with 6 children. 2 are under 3 years old. He needs sleep, and he's tired, and could I come back with him tomorrow? Love is about being comfortable with yourself. And when you're comfortable with yourself, the spaces and the culture that you are a part of, you're comfortable with that too. Because you start to understand the energy of being immersed by the presence. Years ago, I was known to be someone that was like revved up to go to what's next? This is boring. I'm bored with this. Let's go to this next thing. So trust me, I really know what I'm talking about in this message because I am a living example of this space. But I went on a spirit journey, and I was asking Great Spirit to reveal to me some greater truth. And so when I went in the underworld of meditation, it was different than it had ever been. And I started swirling in my mind. I was swirling, let's say, in like an upper world. And there were crystals and there was light. And it was so bright. It was just like, oh my gosh. And in a moment, it was almost like a parade float came forward. And it was Jesus with all these animals and all these children and all these people. And Jesus looked right at me and said, do the work. The path is straight. Do the work. The path is straight. And I gift you with that today because when you're thinking something ought to be different, when you're wondering this and that about it, and you're wanting to be in the way of it and shapeshift it, you're already forgetting that you're to do your inner work because the path is straight. Your soul path is not confused. Do you understand that? Your soul path agreed to come here. You were sent. You were born to be you. And you get the opportunity to be in school to learn how to do that better every day of your life. But the path is straight. There's no wrong turn. There's no almost turn. There's no skip a turn. There's no missing out on something. There's no life of regrets because your path is straight. It's claiming that space about your path. Do you understand the distinction? I love that Reverend Ron and I, we tend to mention Ernest Holmes on the same day. And one of my favorite sayings, I say it in front of our community at least 3 times a year because I think I need it. But it's about my own shall come to me. From far and near, my own shall come to me. Even now it's coming to me and I receive it. My own, I see it, I'm manifesting it, it is mine for the taking. And I love when it says, even I cannot keep my good from myself. Even I can't be in the way of receiving my good. Yes? I cannot. The beautiful, touching story was of a young man that his father was very wealthy, and he had been eyeing this fancy sports car, and he knew this is what he really wanted, and he told his dad that he wanted this beautiful car and for his Christmas. And so Christmas time comes, and he goes to visit his dad. He was away at college, and his dad hands him this small present, and he says, "Oh, what is this?" And Dad says, "Open it." He's so excited. "Oh, please open it. Just open it." And he opens it up, and it's a Bible inlaid with gold with the son's name on it. And he went, "You got me a Bible? You got me a Bible?" And he threw the Bible down on the floor. And he said, "I'm over it." And he went out the door. Years went by. Years went by. He never saw his dad again. And he gets notified that his dad has died. The funeral home called him. And he goes back to his father's house, and he sees this package. It's still there on his dad's desk. And he starts to weep because of so many things that he has felt and so many things that he has witnessed. And he picks the book up, and he opens it. And when he does, a key falls out and the business card to the very dealership. And he said, and the card said, "Congratulations, son. Here's your new car." A moment missed. A moment not seen, for he was missing. For he was too quick to assume that the gift of his father was not what he wanted. And in our humanity, we are so quick to assume that the gift of our Father, our Creator, our God, our Lord, our law is not what we had in mind. And we're so quick to toss it and throw it and discount it without really seeing it through and opening the true package of what it is unraveling before us, you see. And so it's delving into that and delving into the gifts that you have, and look at how you're not wasting them and tossing them away, but how you are saying to the universe, "I am here to use those gifts. I am ready to use the gifts I have. I am ready to be the gift that I am. I'm ready to unwrap myself and step into this awareness of magic and good, of that connection, of that beingness, and to remember that my biggest assignment is to remember that I am loved." I love it when people are hanging out, they're talking about, "Oh, we're a new thought, we're unconditional, we're inclusive, and we're so diverse, and we're so all this and a slice of vegan cheese, we're just so unconditional loving." And then on the way to the car, you beat yourself up. And then when you get home, you start gossiping about somebody. Oh yeah, the concept is good, but how are we living it? How are we really unveiling it? How are we experiencing it? Are we shining our light? Are we shining drama trauma? What are we expressing? Do you resonate with what I'm saying? Because they're telling me I've got a few more minutes, and I've got a few things that I can pull out. But it's so true, because that's, to me, it's like, I'm so glad at the end of my life that if I am speaking, and those final moments of my deathbed, because you don't know, but if I am speaking, I can't imagine being quiet, but if I am speaking, whomever is there, I'm going to say, "I am so glad that I figured it out. I figured it out, that I was loved. I figured it out that something loved me so much to birth me so I could continue to birth myself from the concept of love. That is the secret. Because until you know you're loved, it's even lofty to say you just want to learn how to be. Because if you don't love yourself, there is no being. Because you're doing something so you'll be loved. You're fixing something so you can accept who you are. So love comes first. And then the power of learning how to be. You with me? You know, it occurred to me yesterday, it's like, stop making excuses or you will become one. Stop making excuses or you will become one. I don't want to miss out on you. I don't want to miss out on who you are. I don't want to miss out on the reason that you were born here on this earth. And I love celebrating in a traditional solstice, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa kind of way. I love joining the world and celebrating that on a time in the world a Christ was born. And all that is really beautiful to me. And I don't miss that for a minute. I think what's important, though, is that the sacred story, that we use it for ourselves. Otherwise, it's just a story until it becomes your story. That's what matters to me, is your birthing and my birthing, that Christ light soars and raises the vibration on this planet. We have plenty to focus on as we're singing a song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and let it begin with me. We have plenty to focus on. You see. And so that's the birthing. It's how you are being born. Being born. There's a Hindu story about a devotee of Krishna that he's telling some of the village people. He says, you know, Krishna is real. And they're really doubting that Krishna exists. And he says, Krishna is real. I can take this cow, and I can tell Krishna to make the cow, the dead cow, come back to life. And they kind of look around. He said, give me 3 days, but I'll pray to Krishna, and that cow will come back to life. So the devotee sweated and agonized and prayed unceasingly for this cow to rise again. Well, the cow did. The cow came back to life, and everybody became a believer in Krishna. And so then the devotee, he went back and he said to Krishna, he said, why did you put me through that? Why did you do that? You know, I've been praying and praying and praying and praying, and now it finally happened. Why did it take you so long? And Krishna said, you're the one that said it would take 3 days. What are you saying? When is your now? When is your moment for the light to be birthed within you? On behalf of our staff and board of trustees and all of our spiritual leaders and all the people that give to this amazing place, we are so grateful, and we are sending our love to you wherever you are. Know within your heart and soul that you are loved, you are original, and no one can ever replace you. God bless you.